November 19th? That's sure gonna mess up Thanksgiving. How long ago was that trailer at this point? A year? 2? Could you imagine making someone wait so long for something?
Cyberpunk 2077 is, or will be, a massive game that's been in some form of development since around 2015. But we've been excited about it since 2013 when Polish producer CD Projekt Red revealed a teaser trailer featuring some bullets flying around and a mantis-armed woman. To date the whole concept even further back, it's based on a tabletop RPG, which was originally released in the late 1980s. Development went quiet, and for a while things settled down, until a super secret gameplay trailer nearing an hour in length was screened to a select group of fans at E3 2018. Excitement was further amplified when it was revealed that bass Keanu was going to be involved with the project at last year's E3. So I'm sure by now everyone has heard of it and are probably a lot better informed on the situation than I am. I mean, clearly I've been living in a cave for the last year. Ergo, I'm sure everyone felt some kind of way when the game was pushed even further back into the third quarter of this year. Some probably felt anger, some sadness, but I'm sure a good percent also felt this weird satisfaction in knowing that the game wasn't going to be released until it was actually ready. Especially after the number of goofs and gaffes that we've had in the last couple years surrounding some major titles' releases. I'm not going to name any names. You know who you are. But just as we were getting settled into a late summer release on September 17th, which come to think of it is the upcoming release of the 30 series. This extremely yellow tweet was twoten by CD Projekt Red, being forthcoming about their Forthright Games furloughed release. Mid-November, here we come! But I'm sure a lot of you are still chomping at the bit to jump into Night City and cybernetically implant a 14-inch antenna onto your characters' heads. So I have some good news for you. Let me introduce you to Cyberpunk 2089, guaranteed to be cubier, 12 years better, and best of all, available now on Steam. Oh, Keanu, we love you so much. So what's the deal with Cyberpunk anyway? Well, it's a Unity game, and it really plays like one. I have to admit, I was drawn in by the charming visual style and the quirky gimmick to the whole thing. Part of me was really expecting some kind of prophetic gaming experience, while other parts of me were expecting a short and sweet little ditty, the likes of which I would gladly pay 49 cents for. But what I ended up getting was somewhere in the middle, and not necessarily in a good way all the time. Let me explain. When you first start the game, you'll be greeted with an extremely helpful tutorial dialogue that lists every key used in the game, but not what they do. Rest assured, there's no need to be afraid to experiment by pressing every key in the game. Once you step out onto the streets of Cube City for the first time, you'll be mesmerized by the sheer vibrance of the cityscape. While most cyberpunk fiction features dismal tower blocks and tall skyscrapers adorned with neon signage, the buildings in this game are just made of neon. You kind of get lost in the conflict in your mind between beauty and chaos. There's cars sliding around. There's some robots also sliding around. You're still wondering exactly where you stand and how much there is to do in this city because it's just kind of difficult to really observe it all at once. And just as you're about to make your first move, a flying robot approaches you, coughs a green cloud at you, and then gives you coronavirus. Seriously. One of the Combine's scanners escaped from City 17, took a little detour in Daytona Beach spring break, and brought the Rona to Cube City. Specifically to you, traveler. And unless you take these Russian pills to stop a little biohazard symbol from filling up, you will die. It doesn't take very long, either. But why worry about your impending demise? You should just do what every other sick person does in this exact scenario. Go to the bar! Inside the discotheque, you'll find a bartender robot who offers but never provides a drink. Don't worry though, it's okay, because the tunes that he's bumping inside this place smack so hard, they'll be the only mind-altering substances you need to have a good time. The pulsating rhythm and hypnotic synth will ease any thought or care you had about, oh wait, nope, you died. The mysterious epidemic in City is by far the worst part of the game. Now I'm assuming if you complete enough quests or talk to enough people or something, eventually the opportunity to acquire these Russian pills will arise. But that's another problem, is that 99% of these quests are just go get this object and bring it over here. That alone wouldn't bother me all that much if the mechanics of doing so were actually engaging. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all Death Stranding's turned out to be, and this is no Death Stranding's. But I feel like that really didn't need to be said. Every once in a while, though, you will find a funny, weird line of dialogue that just catches you off guard and makes you chuckle, like this computer that's bitching about a feminist social justice computer that lives down the street. I feel like there was a fairly genuine effort by the developer to make the interactions with the NPCs entertaining and rewarding. Brouillard means fog in French, and there's lots of like Russian characters being used on some of the signs in the game. So I feel like a lot of the point was lost in some sort of possibly three-way translation. But by the time you succumb to the epidemic 3 or 4 times, you just kind of get bored and tired of entering random houses and having cubes talk to you. And it starts dragging on you, which really is a drag because this game does have a few really cutesy moments. There's one cube that tells you like, hi, here's another quest where you have to take this thing and move it over here. And then the second line, I think, is something to the effect of like, and it's going to be a big pain in the ass, but, you know, again, like I said, three-way translation errors. I kind of expected some kind of mystery to be revealed to me as I talked to more cubes and did more of these lame fetch quests, or find some notes hidden around, like every other Unity game. It's just finding notes and finding out more about what's going on, and then Slender Man gets closer to you somehow, except in this game, instead of Slender Man, it's this flying coronavirus robot that's chasing you down incessantly like the damn sun from Super Mario Bros. 3, and I just die and die no matter what. Yeah, so I died. Maybe I'm just bad at video games. Still, if you are good enough to avoid the plague, turn in a few fetch quests, and hear the right quirky dialogue going on, it definitely has a good couple hours of enjoyment. Maybe even a few hours of enjoyment. And if you're into the style, there's a lot of charm in that too. And the fetch quests admittedly do have just enough variation to make you want to go seek out another one. But always remember to go back to your house and save after you've made a decent amount of progress, because that plague robot will never fail at finding you when you least expect it. Have I mentioned that the plague robot kind of kills the vibe? So, for the price, is it worth it? In full disclosure, when I first found this game, it only cost 99 cents. And like I said, I got it on sale for 51% off. The one kind of threw me. But the price jumped to $3.99 sometime in August, and I'm not really sure what that's about, but it's kind of a tough call at that price. If you're fine with throwing a few dollars at a small, probably single-person development team, then go ahead. This is definitely on the higher end of a lot of the single dev games that there are on Steam right now. I mean, the floodgates have really opened in the last couple of years in that aspect. But at the same time, there really isn't a whole lot of replay value to it, which usually is the point of an open world game, which is a shame because I see a good effort was put into making this interesting and fun. It just falls a little short of that. So I think this is a wait for it to go on sale kind of deal. But you should definitely check out the rest of Brouillard's games. They have a streamer simulator called Gordon Streamin', which is always great to see some kind of joke about Half-Life. I just love and miss Half-Life. There's also a shipping container auction game that I think is kind of based around that whole, where they auction off the storage wars. That's it. I don't watch a lot of TV. And there's also something that looks like a Spaceship Galaga-style dungeon crawler, which, according to the reviews, is pretty not great, but I think it was probably their first attempt at a game. So hey, that's better of a game than I've ever made in my life, so you should check it out. So I'd say thank you for watching if there's anybody left, and in the future I really do intend to bring more games that actually are under $1 currently, when the video releases. This one just kind of got away from me. And I hope this sort of puts a little spotlight on some of the better and unfortunately probably mostly some of the worst, cheap games that there are for sale on Steam. So, if you subscribe, it'd be all right. You might get another video.